This section of the cemetery here is known as the Republican plot of Glassnevin Cemetery, and in it lie the men and women who gave their life for the cause of Irish freedom, or to relieve some of the poor people of Dublin of some of the hardships in which they worked. Within it lie the remains of James Larkin, Maud Gaughan, Countess Markovich, Harry Boland, Rory O'Connor and Erskine Childers, and many more of those who gave their lives for Irish freedom. Okay, this is my favourite grave in Glassnevin Cemetery. It's the final resting place of Elizabeth O'Farrell. Member of Cumann na Món, she served in the GPO during the rebellion, and as a trainee nurse it was her that looked after Connolly when he was shot. When the surrender was given, Elizabeth stood by Pearse as he gave it on Moore Street, and then she brought the surrender note out across the city. She's one of those people that were kind of written out of the history books. Well, we're standing here at the foot of the last resting place of Eamon de Valera, 7 times Taoiseach, twice president and founded Fianna Fáil. He's buried here with his wife Sinead, who wrote children's stories about Cuchulainn and the like, and their children Vivian, Breen and Rory. Also a highly controversial grave, this, and lots of times given tours in the cemeteries, you can discern some of these politics from who they want to see up here. But one of the amazing things about Glassnevin Cemetery is that everybody's buried here. Dev is here, Collins is just across the way, and people from all political sides are buried here in Glassnevin Cemetery. Well, this is probably one of the most visited graves in Glassnevin Cemetery, the final resting place of Michael Collins. Collins' funeral was one of the biggest funerals the cemetery was ever to have seen, with up to 100,000 people following the gun carriage up through the streets of Dublin to a funeral here and an oration by General Richard Mulcahy. As you can see by it, it has hundreds of flowers on it, and this is always the case, day in, week out.
The tour doesn't just visit the graves of our bravest souls, it also gives a good account of Irish society down through the generations.
The walls and towers surround the whole 120 acres of the cemetery. The originals were built in the 1830s because for the first decade the cemetery had a huge problem with grave robbers. People used to climb into the cemetery, dig up the bodies of the dead and then sell these bodies to the College of Surgeons for the doctors to practice anatomy. The cemetery built the walls to keep people out, and the towers were used as watchtowers with armed guards standing in them all through the night.
Whilst on the tour,